What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Inform Marquinhos. So again, we're getting very similar players like this, where we've got an Inform that is an 86, one above his gold, and he's already got multiple versions. Obviously his freeze card is an 87 centre defensive mid, so completely different position, but also was an SBC. So straight off the bat, I'm going to say, if you've done that SBC, don't even bother with this Inform. Also, he does have a centre-back Team of the Year nominee. That's coming in at 130. So that tells me this card is going to hit literally fodder zone. Because if that's already 130 and that's an 89 rated with an extra 4 pace, then obviously that's going to be a much better card to get straight off the bat. Obviously, pace-wise, we're going to have to whack a shadow on him just to get that pace up to 84. Which, to be honest, in terms of a centre-back, isn't awful. I feel like that's relatively good. Obviously he gets 96 defending with that, turning himself into a 91 rated centre back, and I think a lot of people, they take the overall like literally, so they think, oh, so he's going to be as good as a record breaker Virgil with no chemistry style, or he's going to be as good as a Gomez with chemistry styles. Honestly, it all depends on the animation. It depends on where the stats lie and how well he kind of can utilise them in the game. So Marquinhos has always been relatively okay on his pace. Never like someone who's absolutely rapid, but he's never been slow. But then to kind of counteract that, he is a little bit bulky. Like a lot of centre-backs, we see a lot of them, they can overcome it. Puyol, for me, yes, he's not the most meta centre-back, and people say, oh, but you need your Virgil and your Varans. You don't always need them, and sometimes you can use someone and you kind of get used to them. Like Cannavaro, he's not a 6'5" centre-back who's going to absolutely obliterate everybody, but you utilise him in a different way. Use him as his pace, as the massive gain, you hold off on defenders. He does win the ball every now and then in the air, but mainly what he can do is on the ground work, and you have a partnership with him. Marquinhos is coming in at what, 6 foot, so again, not the tallest of defenders. We do link him up with Carlos Alberto, so a nice Brazilian link. He's got cracking defending. Obviously, physical wise, not again amazing, but unfortunately the pace is outweighing the need for more strength on that anchor. So if we do get, say, like a team of the season where his pace is upgraded to say 85, we could then look at the anchor, be happy with getting 90 pace, but then also work on that physical. In terms of player traits, we've got long throw-in and leadership, so two relatively non-real needed. If you do know what leadership does, let me know down below. I know someone told me what solid player means. What does leadership mean? Let me know down below. Make sure you like and subscribe whilst you're there. And let's get into Marquinhos. Marquinhos coming in and taking a ball off Sterling. He is going to have his hands full this game, especially when you've got the likes of Mbappe, you've got a Sterling, you look at then like Rooney. There's a lot of cards that really can cause damage up front nowadays. Marquinhos cleaning up, get it back to him. He's not a bad guy, to be honest. Pace-wise, yes, it could do with a little bit of a work, but I feel like in general, he really isn't that bad of a centre-back. He definitely comes in at kind of like one of the top rateds in the Ligue 1, which it kind of does say something. It's not like when we had the kind of prime Thiago Silva era. But in terms of kind of Marquinhos, he's always been relatively good. The only problem is I really liked his CDM card. Weren't a big fan of his Team of the Year nominee, so in terms of kind of like going for a main centre back. So it's going to be interesting to see what this card can fully do. But I feel like his CDM, if you did complete it, is really the one to go for. Marquinhos tackling is kind of, I don't know, it just feels like I'm tackling with him, and literally every single time the ball is going back to the attacker. Marquinhos with the interception. Tonali getting frustrated. It's very lucky not to get a card there. Marquinhos taking it away from Sterling. Marquinhos with a beautiful challenge on Ronaldo, and a lovely ball out. Made the counter twice as easy. Marquinhos stopping it, didn't even watch it, and he's making them tackles. Marquinhos with another very important tackle. Honestly, in terms of defensive ability, he really isn't awful. I think the big thing with a lot of these informs, it's going to be not necessarily who's the most meta, it's just dependent on Are you wanting to use a fun card, or are you looking for the serious icons only? Good goal from Ronaldo. Are you looking for literally just icons only? You're looking for Ronaldo 90s and 98s and all of that, when you can have some cards like, yes, Marquinhos does have an 89, so realistically you want to be looking at that version more than anything, and I totally understand that, but just know how the 86 works. Kind of gives you a little intake into, or an insight in fact, into how that 89 is going to work. Marquinhos going for the header this time, finding himself up on that pitch. Marquinhos not necessarily taking it away, but definitely doing something to get the ball away from the attack there, and again tripping Mbappe. Oh god, any trick in the book will always help, as obviously Mbappe is Mbappe. Marquinhos taking it away from Mbappe, and he remembers about that kick earlier. Marquinhos seeing it out. Marquinhos, and again doing work. So going into Marquinhos then, honestly, he didn't surprise me in one bit. Exactly how I thought he'd play. He is a good centre-back. He's nothing amazing, like he's not necessarily the next Virgil or Joe Gomez, but in terms of Liga and centre-backs, I feel like his 89 is fantastic. Completely forgot about that what-if card actually. That's not a bad one. Obviously, again, pace is slightly an issue, but 77k for a 90 is phenomenal. But if we do look against all the other centre-backs, where does he rank? So for me, Marcelo is better. I'd say 90 rated, 77k, better. You've got the SBC, Todd, I'm going to call him Todd, I can't pronounce him, better, way better. Koscielny, same sort of level. SBC way back when, so you may have done him just because he was one of the first SBCs. Volland, not a big fan of him as centre-back, but he definitely can play a game if you've got him. He is 0 coins being an objective. Kimpembe, better. Denea, better. He falls down this list far too much. Obviously, his 89 definitely comes up there, but in terms of this 86, I think he's too far down the list for you to want him. Obviously, it does kind of give you that outlet. See if you'd want the 89, because obviously if you've got the 86, you feel like he's alright. The 89 isn't coming in much more, as you can see, 91k compared to 130. That will drop down even more during rewards, so see where he goes. Personally for me, pace-wise was fine. Didn't really get outrun loads, but when you're coming up against an Mbappe, Neymar, you're going to have to be smart with your tackles. You can't go lunging in because he hasn't got the recovery rate to kind of beat him to the ball after that. But in terms of defending, you've got a lot of defending. Physical wise, he felt okay. He didn't feel overtly strong, but felt like he could still kind of rustle up some feathers. But overall, I'm personally going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. His 89 definitely is worth the money if you are looking for a Marquinhos, but as just described and shown, there is plenty of Liga and centre-backs now. There's a couple that I completely forgot about, a couple of SBCs, and obviously a weekly objective. If you have done any of them, I'd probably say they are worth more than going and getting Marquinhos in your team, unless you've got this CDM version, then you've absolutely slapped up the market. But apart from that, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.